everyone, I'm Claire Kerr.
And I'm Chantel Bastigalupo. Welcome to another episode of The Common Agenda.
Hey guys and dolls, welcome back to another episode of Common Agenda, the show that brings you the news, upcoming events, and more from around Emerson College. It's a lovely day outside. The sun is shining, the birds are chirping. It's the perfect day to be inside and listen to what other people have done, don't you think? With that in mind, let's do the news. President Pelton recently joined nearly 200 leaders from the state's arts, culture, and education sectors in an initiative to make arts education a priority for Massachusetts high schools. Arts for All is an initiative launched by Mass Creative and Arts Learning, which seeks to better prepare students for academic and professional success through visual media or performing arts. President Pelton, along with the entire Emerson community, is leading the college's involvement in the campaign. Just another way Emerson is getting involved in our community. The E3 conference has set a date. The 9th annual Emerson Entrepreneurship Experience Conference will be held on April 19th in the Bordy Theater. The conference will feature 9 new student business ventures as well as speakers from the Boston business community. According to an announcement made by the marketing department, this will be the first E3 conference since the November death of faculty member Carl Bayer, who founded the E3 program. Over the years, more than 150 ventures have been created through the E3 program.
Claire, did you hear that I'm an entrepreneur now? I'm starting my own business.
No way. What kind of business?
It's called Butterfly Counseling.
And what does that entail?
Well, you know, people are really stressed about finals, and so just imagine yourself inside a room covered in butterflies and that you just can't see because you're so covered by them, and the dust on their wings falls into your pores, and all you can feel is, you know, the flutter, flutter, flutter.
Wow, that's actually wildly disturbing and strange, but good luck with that.
Thanks. Now, Emerson alum Bobbi Brown was recently named Yahoo's new beauty editor. Brown, who is a world-renowned makeup artist and entrepreneur, will lead the editorial direction, original content, and the expansion and reimagination of Yahoo Beauty. Brown is the founder and chief creative officer of Bobbi Brown Cosmetics and is thrilled to combine her interests in education and empowerment to create a new and improved Yahoo Beauty. Congrats, Bobbi. Everyone at Emerson is super proud. As the Boston Marathon rapidly approaches, the city is taking extra measures to keep us safe. Boston City officials released their detailed public safety plans for this year's Boston Marathon during a press conference at City Hall this past Saturday. Some of the measures being taken include increased police officers, cameras have been installed along the marathon route, and spectators are encouraged to leave large backpacks home, and bags will be subject to searches. Increased communication with Boston police and ambulances will also be enforced. The marathon is a time to remember those lost, and measures are being taken to make it a day of remembrance and celebration for the city. Stay Boston strong. Apparently, Ian Sutherland has some insight on what it means to be a human person in the real world. He's got the scoop on this week's edition of After Emerson.
Oh, didn't see you guys there. What's going on? You guys ever wonder where those little ads that pop up before a YouTube video come from? Today we got to find out. They come from companies like Overdrive Interactive, where a 2007 Emerson alumni, Missa Bazillion, works. We got to talk to her today about some of the stuff she does here, her work in digital media, as well as her time at Emerson College. Let's take a look at the interview. Hey guys, I'm here with Missa Bazillion at Overdrive Interactive. Missa, thank you so much for being with us.
No problem. It's always good to talk to Emersonians.
So can you tell us a little bit about what you do on a day-to-day basis here?
What I do every day. Well, it's a lot of computing and a lot of Excel. But in terms of kind of the tasks and things I do every day, generally speaking, you're guaranteed at least one meeting, be it a client status meeting or a reporting call or something like that. Oftentimes a few phone calls with website vendors to talk about their offerings or what have you, what's going on in the digital space. I usually spend about half an hour reading industry news too in the morning. It's a nice way to ease into the day and just be aware of what's going on because things change so quick in the space. Like yesterday, Facebook announced a pretty big deal, so had to be on top of that. So yeah, a lot of the above all day long.
What did you study at Emerson and what year did you graduate?
I graduated in 2007, and I was an integrated marketing communication major, so advertising and PR. I picked the one with the longest name. And I really tried to jump around and experience as many things as I could. So I worked on TV programs, I worked through all the clubs, but primarily it was marketing, advertising, PR.
How did you find this job?
So I believe I found the listing on Craigslist, but it was interesting. I had been following Overdrive for a really long time. I had seen them through various professional organizations. I saw that they won a lot of great awards. So I kind of kept my eye on the company, and I saw them post a listing, and I applied for it, sent in my stuff, and amazingly, this does not happen very often, don't get too excited, but they emailed me the next day at 5 a.m. and said they got my resume, and they asked me to come in, and they offered me the job in the interview, which also never happens, so don't bank on that. But it can, apparently. So I kind of just followed the normal process, although I will say other jobs I've had, this is my third job after school, knowing people helps. Keeping in contact with people, all of those things. I've referred so many people to jobs that I just knew, so that's definitely a more common path.
Well, thank you, Missa, for showing us around and giving us a little bit of information about what you do here at Overdrive Interactive. We had a great time. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thanks for coming to see us.
No problem. Back to you guys in the studio. I'm Ian Sutherland with After Emerson for Common Agenda. Thank you.
Thanks, Ian. Today I'm chilling and grilling in the studio with Tyler Trudeau from WERS. Good to have you here today, Tyler.
Thanks for having me.
So what is your position on the radio station?
I am a on-air DJ for one of WERS's weekend show, Standing Room Only, which is all Broadway show tunes.
So why did you pick that show out of all of them?
Actually, Standing Room Only has been on for 35 years, so my father, who's a big theater fan, and my mother, who's a big theater fan, they've been listening to it for the whole existence that it's been on. And growing up, I wasn't a big fan of it, but then as I became more of a theater fan in high school, I decided that I was like, oh, this is really good music, I really like it, and then when I found out I was coming to Emerson, I just thought it would be a perfect way to be able to get involved, try something new that I haven't done before, and I've just fallen in love with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And your mom and dad must love that you work on this station.
Oh yeah,
huh?
they listen every week, they're the best, yeah.
So, I mean, besides from being one of the top college radio stations in the country, what else has WERS been up to lately?
Well, recently this week we had Live Music Week, which is our chance as a non-commercial radio station to ask for support and donations from our listeners to help continue non-commercial radio. And this past 2 days, Alex Lanotti, who's the other host of Standing Room Only, and myself, we raised $9,000 for WERS, and I believe as a whole station we raised about $90K
Wow.
total. So we had a lot of hard work to do, but we were able to give away some free tickets and donations to thank our supporters who have been donating, and it was really a great week and really fun.
Absolutely. So what does Live Music Week entail? Like, what do you guys do?
We bring in live acts. Like on our show, we had The Drowsy Chaperone come in, people from Boston Lyric Opera come in and perform, and we gave away tickets. We gave WERS swag, which is like a t-shirt, a travel mug, a hoodie that everyone loves. And we do this so we can update our library, update our equipment, bring in more musical acts to have the listeners enjoy.
So the money goes to the radio station and basically upkeep?
Yes, it basically is trying to make us the most professional sounding we can, being a college station. So all the money that we get is really just fine-tuning and making WERS work as best as they possibly can.
And Live Music Week, is this the first time thing, or?
This has actually been going on for years now. It's usually about once every semester we do it, so twice a year in actual real time, not semester time. But it's been going on for years and years now, and I'm really glad we were able to break a record and be able to make $90K this year.
Oh, so this is a record?
Yes.
Oh, that's
yes.
so exciting.
Yes, very exciting. I'm very happy with what we've done. And
Absolutely. So thank you for coming today, Tyler.
Thanks for having me.
And Mariah Terry, who's credited as one of the fifth graders from Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader, brings us into the theater with this week's edition of Stage Spotlight.
Right, let's just go again. Hello everyone, I am Mariah Terry and this is this week's Stage Spotlight. Every week I show you all of the shows that are being performed here on campus, but I've never once shown you the venues in which they were being performed in. So this week I am going to show you each of Emerson's main stage theaters. Come along for the ride. I am here at the Colonial Theater, which opened in 1900 and since then has seen countless Broadway shows before they made it to the Big Apple. These shows include Porgy and Bess and Roger and Hammerstein Classics. Since July 2012, a partnership between Emerson and City Center worked to bring more pre-Broadway shows in honor of the Colonial's historical significance. I am here at the beautiful Cutler Majestic Theater, and majestic it is. Jacqueline Liebergott, one of Emerson's former presidents, referred to the Cutler Majestic Theater as one of the jewels in our crown, and that certainly seems true. The theater opened in 1903 and is one of the most ornate and beautiful historic theaters in the area. Its stunning architecture and intricate lighting makes the theater truly gorgeous. More than 4,500 bulbs light the theater. Restored by Emerson in 2002, the Cutler Majestic now hosts an array of shows, such as the annual Evie Awards. I am here at the theater with the bright lights and marquee that we all know and love, the Paramount Main Stage. The Paramount Center was built in 1932 as one of Boston's premier Art Deco movie houses. The center closed after a few decades and was then acquired by Emerson in 2005, when the space was remodeled and finally reopened in 2010 as the beautiful Paramount Center we know today. Declared by the city as a Boston landmark, the Paramount Main Stage hosts both Emerson and professional shows year-round. That is all we have for this week's Stage Spotlight. I hope you enjoyed it. Come back next week.
All right, kids, it's time for our third act. Buckle in, upcoming events is coming your way. As we approach the Boston Marathon, there are numerous events around campus to remember those who lost their lives last year. One is taking place on April 15th in Walker Room 210. Emerson's Social Peace and Justice is holding a remembrance ceremony for those lost during the Boston Marathon last year. Students will be able to voice their opinion on last year's tragedy and hopes for this year's marathon. If you have any questions, thoughts, or concerns, please feel free to stop by Walker 210 at 6 p.m. tomorrow night. We have another incredible Bright Screening Room event for you guys this week. On April 17th at 7 p.m., students are invited to From the Book to Screen and Back Again with Semel screenwriting chair Rafael Iglesias. Iglesias confesses how he became a writer and what it takes working with a director such as Peter Weir and Roman Polanski. So far in his 40-year career, he has had 9 novels published and 5 screenplays produced. Some of his adaptations to the screen include Les Miserables, Death and the Maiden. Also, his 1992 novel, Fearless, was adapted into a movie starring Jeff Bridges. If you're interested in seeing how work is adapted from a book to a movie and then back again, come check out this screening on April 17th at 7 p.m.
You know what, Chantel?
What?
I've been training for the Boston Marathon. I'm determined.
Yeah?
Oh,
Really?
yeah.
That's funny because I saw you tweet the other day that you were training and I saw you at the DH.
Yeah.
She was eating Sloppy Joes.
Apparently you haven't heard of a little thing called protein.
I'm sorry, I didn't know that protein was like corn dogs and cheat nachos and, I mean, should I keep going? Reese's Cups?
You know what? I still have a week. You can do a lot in a week, so there we go.
All right, well, good luck.
Yep, thank you. Another event in remembrance of the Boston Marathon victims is taking place April 15th in the Bright Screening Room at 7 p.m. Students can gather together on the anniversary of the Boston bombing and watch the Marathon Boston Bombing Tragedy Anniversary, a student-made film in response to the marathon bombing. The film combines numerous student works to create this incredibly moving piece. It examines how hard it is to heal and deal with this tragedy. But we are not alone. We have an entire community willing to help. If you are interested in this remembrance piece, swing by the Bright Screening Room tomorrow night at 7 p.m. and join together in remembering those who lost their lives last year. It's time for another exciting event on the Paramount Main Stage. Tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m., Emerson Dance Company presents Classic. Swing by Paramount to witness the incredible talents of some of Emerson's finest dancers as they show off their dance moves. Tickets are $5 and can be purchased at the Paramount box office. I'm still waiting to hear back to see if I can perform my interpretive dance inspired by the cast and crew of Common Agenda. We're still working out the details. Well, that rounds out our show for the day. I want to thank all of you for tuning in. Our Nelson ratings are in the toilet this week. Whatever, 6 seasons and a movie. Be sure to tune in Wednesday for another all-new episode of Common Agenda. I'm your host, Clara Kerr, saying that Michael J. Fox's middle name doesn't actually start with a J. It's actually Andrew. See you next time.